the breeder, but chosen by them, what is being observed under their condition. That gives a confidence now to the extension functionaries or the stakeholders who are in the scaling wing. They will now invest in terms of resources, energy, time to position it, to create the demand or to scale the seed. Now when we have this robust data, we will be now confident to invest our resources, and there we will work across different systems together. First is our formal seed system, the seed registered seed companies, the seed corporations, the trade associations in different countries. They are the designated institutions to multiply the seeds. So they are the one who are having 30% of say reach, the farmers supplying the seed. Okay, we cannot ignore them, but we have now a very good product for them to influence and talk to them with data and evidence and the feedback from the community. So we work with them. Then we go to alternative seed system institutions and strengthening those things. So 30% is being catered, but still 70% of the market is open and no one is taking care of those smallholder farmers. But they have tremendous community institutions who probably doing many things but are not aware about seed or seed related associated potential enterprise and business. Can we mobilize them into create local entrepreneurs, local enterprises, so that they are self-empowered, they are self-sufficient, and they are catering to the need of their local needs. So in different countries, in different programs, we try to develop individual or collective group-led enterprises around seed. Looking at that, in a radius of this, there will be one or two institutions who could supply seeds to their member farmers. So then we try to work with them, engaging them around quality seed production and business and enterprises, creating several alternative institutions alongside the existing formal institutions. Then we work with the agriculture extension delivery channels. Like we have our agriculture functionaries, our dealer bases, and everything, working with them, convincing them about to creating distribution network for new germplasms, quality seeds, and also training them, creating awareness among them. They were another system with whom we work closely to ensure that aggressively a new variety is being popularized or the seeds are being available to the farmers who need the most. So I'm just trying to give certain examples of how we try to create say demand in the community or try to create awareness about a variety, and how participatory that was. We kind of host participatory varietal cafeteria. As the name says, it's a varietal cafeteria where we are trying to taste or give options for the farmers with different products, randomized across different replications, where we are trying to see that which one is doing good. And we do not through measurement which is scientific, but by engaging women farmers, men farmers, inviting some of the market actors and also the policymakers together under one roof to assess, to rank, to give scores on the basis of their observation, what they are observing in the standing plants when they are close to harvest. And then on those basis of those evaluation processes, we do kind of selection, and we also kind of create a local budge, like in terms of this entire community, a mixed group community is deciding this XYZ are probably the best fit variety for our region or our community. So hence we will create a valued partnerships between the farmers, seed multipliers and the seed sellers to ensure that the seeds of this variety is being scaled. So that conversation that happens through a rigorous participatory process on the farm, on the stage, standing there all day, doing half-day evaluation and then going back to the classroom to brainstorm, discuss, argue, disagree with each other, and then decide that okay, we'll take up. That is really very empowering for the entire community who get engaged in the process. So these are these are not in research stations. These are not inside the boundary walls of sophisticated organizations or institutions where we are breeding. These are in the farmer field out there in many villages where we have capacitated them how to make their own choices around variety. So this is how we have been doing. These are some of the photographs from very interior tribal villages in India, where women groups are leading by hosting this kind of platforms by themselves. Some of them may not have that large land also. What they do, they talk to their village head. They lease in that land that we want to host a cafeteria. Can you give us a land and lease, or you can give us for our experiment? So they host. So they are our actually more better grassroots scientists who have been able to create a lot of buy-in for what they want to grow and what they want to not grow. And apart from that, we also try to engage community-led clusters, varietal clusters, and the seed production practices. When formal market is only reaching to 30% of the stakeholders, so we should not expect that if a new and better variety is there, the dealership network will reach out very soon to the farmers distributing these seeds. So what to do? We can empower the community and make them self-sufficient. So when we try to demonstrate our varieties, we try to also convert those large patches of demonstration patches of the variety to seed production patches. We invest in their training or capacity building around quality seed production. And those are rigorous trainings, season-long trainings. It's not like that in one classroom I train and I go back, or I go one day to their village and train and go back. We engage experts who go at every critical step of the crop cycle and teach them by showing that how to do this step and that step. While doing so, what we did also, like wherever there were a lot of women farmers were involved and the villages where literacy level were low, and we really wanted to be empowered, we tried to create a lot of innovative, gender-friendly technical training manuals so that even if we go back, they can recall, they can do on their own. And to do that, we had to do our strategy on text-heavy training manuals. They may not be able to read, or they may not be able to recall everything which is very technical. So we try to build those kind of pictorial training materials for them, which is very relatable, but the job is done. So these kind of approaches which we followed. And we also engaged with the local agro dealers or local agro entrepreneurs who remain, say, like a strong advisory group for the farmers. A farmer not only buy input from them, like seed, fertilizer, and etc. They also reach out to them for time to time advisory. They go, they ask them, brother, could you tell us what new varieties available? Could you advise us how should I apply? Even though they are not scientists, but they are the most accessible influencer in the community, so they become an unofficial advisor for these farmers. So we wanted to also not exclude these critical intermediary or stakeholders to create the awareness about a new variety which we have tested and validated. We engage them and we try to educate them that how you can take a first mover's advantage, because this is a brand new product in the market, we have tested. You can also get the business, but you need to create awareness for the farmers. So they also gladly participated in these processes. I talked about alternative seed institutions because there remains a lot of market yet to be capped. Lot of farmers and households be able to get quality seeds, and they have their robust institutions engaged in various community or social development activities. We try to build them into seed enterprises, whoever were interested and wherever there were feasibilities. And then we try to mobilize them into powerful institutions who are not just getting scientific training around how to produce quality seed, but also business development training around how to do management, business, accounting, and negotiate with the market and different stakeholders. Apart from technical, the business training aspect were also brought into them to build their skills. This also engaged them regulatory aspect related trainings. Let us understand seed regulatory aspects are not simple as yet, and it requires a lot of licensing, lot of skill in terms of quality assurance measures and linkage with different institutes at different levels. So those linkage, those awareness, those opportunities were also created for these institutions. So it was a very holistic empowerment for them, not just around having a better knowledge about seed or seed production practices, but also to have business or enterprises and earn income from that, not just to have it for productivity gain, but having a better livelihood for them. So we have tried to engage large number of such women-led institutes, converted them to licensed growers and registered producers for the seeds. And as I was telling, these are some basic examples. You can see that there is hardly any text, but what we try to do in every page, we try to give pictorial depictions of stage 1, date, calendar we give, at this point of your cropping cycle you do this. The stage 2 you do this, you do roguing, how you will understand which is not a actual crop and which is a weed. So all those were explained in a very simplified manner so that they are able to do. Then we also created some very simple yet powerful extension or information tools called product profiles, which were completely missing in our system. I mean, whenever we develop a variety, if you go to a website of an institution which has developed a variety, they have some simple information in terms of this is the variety, X and Y, parentage, and yield, and all those things. But when we are trying to convince different stakeholders like the seed growers, multipliers, even dealers and the farmers, we need to make their decision making process very simple and easy. They need to clearly understand the value and instructions over here. I have to give those detailed, unique selling points for that varieties. Not just yield, but also other critical deciding factors, what would be good for their area, good for their land type, so those striking features, and also warning them about the limitations. Let us not only highlight a product's features, that's the mistake which we have been doing. Also highlight the limitations that they need to take care of, and if their land is not suitable, probably this may not be a right variety. So we kind of try to give very short snapshots of weakness and strength of this product which we have been trying to promote with them, but also at the same time, what should they replace? If they are growing, what is the alternative replacement target they should do to get the more value? So those kind of easier decision choices, and what is the economic value they can immediately expect in terms of differential yield advantage over the replacement target or something. So these simplified decision making points were given through these product profiles, which was developed and being shared with the different stakeholders. And when we are working primarily in strengthening different public institutions, public sector organizations, they always have been struggling with infrastructure, having basic market intelligence, in order to be able to have efficient seed business. So big large scale private sector companies who have business incentives, who has profit incentives, they do have investment capacity to get a lot of market intelligence, but a lot of public seed corporations, these small alternative institutions, they do not have investment capacity to have right market intelligence. So a lot of people get scared to get into seed business because they might incur a lot of loss. So they do not have any demand estimation system. So we try to also innovate a digital application which we named as Seedcast. It is basically projection or demand estimation for them, like which are the varieties is being demanded, and we had a very dynamic demand indenting system incorporated into that, removing the entire paperwork process which take lot of time, lot of seasons and years to get to the actual indenting and multiplying organization. So we try to reduce that time lag by introducing digital seed indenting processes, and all the dealers who are registered in it to be able to give the demand, and to empower these institutions with some of these market intelligence prior. Apart from that, training, rigorous training and capacity building efforts were part of our seed scaling efforts, and that did not include only farmers. That actually tapped on different intermediary stakeholders who were critical for seed system strengthening. That involved the entrepreneurs, that involved the seed growers, that involved a lot of extension officials who are in the delivery of technology in charge. So we kind of created different groups and customized training modules to ensure that they are learning together and also in parallel. So extensive hundreds and hundreds of training efforts were part of this seed dissemination program. So these are the snapshot of what we have been trying to do. One of the goal is that whatever we do, like in terms of getting a new germplasm or noble variety to the farmers, that happens in a socially equitable manner. We need to work with the smallholder farmers. When we work with them, we should not be in a situation where we are prescribing them, but we should be able to empower them to make their choices and decisions by themselves. So they are capable of that thing. So what we have tried to play is a catalytic role, and also bringing in other stakeholders who were already existed but probably working in silos, and the extension and the research wings were never talking to each other. So we brought in that synergy so that they talk the same language. If a breeder is talking about genetic gain, I'm happy and proud to say that even the extension functionaries are also able to confidently tell about the genetic gain in farmer field. So they have understood the language, they have understood that what it takes to ensure that is delivered at farmer field and adopted by the farmer. So that has been the story of what we have been trying to do in the seed system space. Thank you very much for your patience.
We have time for some questions, and of course, we live in the state of Iowa, which of course grows lots of corn, lots of soybeans, not a lot of other stuff, obviously hay and alfalfa, clover, etc. But also we've had large seed companies, and then we've had very, very, very small seed companies. And actually, the 76th richest man in the world is not too far from here, Harry Stein, and he did hybrid corn seeds and hooked up and sells it all over the world, okay? So it's kind of fascinating to see, and my question for you, just to start with, is when you started this, were there just some large companies that did most of the rice, provided the seeds? So are you going against the grain of the bigger companies, or how do they work with you?
Yeah, no, actually the thing is that most in the region where we're working, and not just India, but the entire South Asian seed market, if you see, there are many efficient large companies, but the challenge is the kind of product they deal is mostly hybrids, hybrid rice or hybrid thing. But the smallholder farmers comprise our 70% of the total farming households, and they are traditionally into inbreds, and they are traditionally also into what we say high volume crops. So when we say rice, wheat, which is traditionally grown, those are high volume crops. But when we say like vegetables and other